Hello everyone, my name is Anisa Yumna with student number PO32503 and I am from class C. So in this video, I want to explain about three things. First is types of translation, the second one is translation process, and the last one is types of meaning. So here we have translation based on the language involved, and there are three types. First one is intralingual translation. Intralingual translation involves interpreting verbal signs using other signs within the same language. So the example is we have a sentence, I am not feeling well emotionally. This sounds a bit complex, but we can reword it into a simple sentence like I feel sad. Both sentences have the same meaning, but the last one is more easier to understand, right? The second one is interlingual translation. This involves interpreting verbal signs of the source language into the target language. Let's take a look on the example. In English, we say I love you, and then in Indonesian, we say aku cinta kamu, and then in Japanese, we say aku tresno koe. So, the last one we have intersemiotic translation. What is intersemiotic translation? So, intersemiotic translation is we change a verbal message into a non-verbal form, such as symbol, signs, image, or whatever. A simple example from daily life is traffic signs. When we see a no parking sign, there are no full sentences, only a symbol like the letter P with a line across it. However, we still understand the meaning, right? So, in this case, the message is delivered through visual symbol. Next, translation can also be seen based on the medium involved. First, we have written translation, the process of transferring a written text from one language to another. Have you ever seen these novels? Those are examples of written translation. Next, we have interpreting, which is oral translation. The oral or sign language transfer of message from one language to another in real time. It means we listen to someone speaking and directly translate it into another language.
It's been a while since I've been here. I'm so excited to be back. Thank you for having me.
And then?
Desde hace bastante tiempo que no venía, así que muchísimas gracias por recibirme nuevamente.
The interpreter.
After that, there is subtitling, a form of audiovisual translation where the spoken dialogue is rendered as written text on screen.
Game today. What if I get to camp and I screwed up?
Hey, don't talk like that.
Yeah, you did great today, honey.
Exactly. Mom gets it.
Yeah, I guess.
We're so proud of you.
Night, Mom.
And the last one is dubbing, the process of replacing the original vocal track of a video, such as film, TV show, or whatever, with a new recording in a different language.
Selamat Natal semuanya. Datanglah ke toko mainan Mengkel. Nikmati semua penawaran Natalnya.
Wow, Pak Mengkel, sepertinya parade Natalmu sukses besar.
Next, I'm going to explain about translation process based on two perspectives, which are Naida and Tabor and Bitgate. I will also compare and contrast those two perspectives so we can understand about the translation process. So let's talk about the first one, which is Naida and Tabor's translation process. According to them, translation process divided into three stages, which are analysis, transfer, and restructuring. So the first stage is analysis. In this stage, the translator carefully examines the source language. This means the translator breaking down the text into its grammatical structure, meaning, and context. In this stage, the goal is to fully understand what the original message is trying to convey. Move to the second stage is transfer. After understanding the message, the translator mentally transfers the meaning from the source language into the target language. This is not just word for word translation, but transferring the meaning itself. So the final stage is restructuring. Here the translator rewrites the message in the target language so it sounds natural and appropriate. In this stage, the focus is on producing clear, fluent, and culturally suitable result. So overall, Naida and Tabor emphasize meaning and naturalness in translation, not just literal equivalence. Now let's move to Bedgate's translation process, which is more detailed and includes 7 steps. The first step is tuning, where the translator becomes familiar with the text. Second is analysis, similar to Naida and Tabor, where the text is examined deeply. The next is understanding, which focuses on fully grasping the meaning of the text. And then terminology, where the translator identifies and decides on key terms. Next, we have restructuring, where the translator starts to take shape in the target language. And next is checking, which involves reviewing the translation for accuracy and clarity. And then finally, discussion, where feedback may be taken to improve the translation. So let's compare and contrast the two perspectives. The biggest similarity is that both perspectives agree that translation is not just about changing the word, but it is about transferring the meaning and restructuring it to fit the target language. Both experts emphasize that the final result must feel natural to the reader. However, there are clear differences in their complexity. Naida and Tabor's perspective are more theoretical and focuses on the internal mental process of the translator. In contrast, Bedgate's perspective is more practical and professional. He breaks down the process into more specific, like looking up the technical terms and collaborating with others. So now let's move to the types of meaning. The first one, we have propositional meaning. It provides the basic dictionary definition of a word. It refers to a specific object or concept the word represents in real or imaginary world. For a simple example is the word laptop means the portable computer that you can use on your lap. But if I point a large television and I call it a laptop, so it's propositional mistake because it doesn't describe the object correctly. Next, we have expressive meaning, which show the speaker's feelings or attitude. You cannot say this meaning is true or false. For the example is the word cheap and inexpensive. The word cheap sounds more negative, but inexpensive can sound more polite. We can also compare curvy and fat. Both refer to body shape, but curvy is usually more positive, while fat can sound rude. Next, we have presupposed meaning arises from co-occurrence restriction. These are the rules about which word we expect to see before or after a specific word. These restrictions are divided into two types. The first one is selectional restriction. These are based on the logical or propositional meaning of a word. For example, the word bunting and hamil both refer to pregnant, but bunting is usually used for animals, while hamil is used for humans. The second types we have collocational restriction. These are semantically arbitrary. there is no logical reason for the pairing, it is just how the language is used by native speaker. For the example is, we say fast food, but we say quick shower. Even though fast and quick have similar meaning, they are used in a different word combination, so we cannot say quick food or we say fast shower. So the next we have evoke meaning arises from variety in dialect and register. The first one we have dialect. It based on the user. A dialect is a variety of language used by a specific community. It is classified into the first, geographical, based on where the speaker comes from, such as the difference between cookie in American English and biscuit in British English. Or in Indonesia we can say ikan, but in Japanese we say iwa. Next, we have temporal, based on the time period or the age of the speaker. In the past, people commonly used the word attire to refer to the clothes a person was wearing. However, in modern, we have replaced it with the word outfit. The next, we have social, based on the social class or status of the speaker. The example is the word residence versus home or house, where the residence sounds more formal and associated with higher social style. So now let's move to the register. It based on the situation. A register is a variety of language that a user considers appropriate for a specific context. It depends on three parameters. The first parameter is field of discourse, is about what is happening or the topic being discussed. For the example, in a medical situation, people might say the patient requires treatment. Well, in daily life, they say he needs help. And then we have tenor of discourse is about the relationship between the speaker. For example, you say, could you help me to someone you respect, but you say, help me to a close friend. And the last is mode of discourse is about the form of communication, whether it's spoken or written. For example, written language is usually more formal, while spoken language is more casual. In this part, I will identify the types of meaning from several word pairs. We can still use the four types of meaning that I have explained before, which are propositional, expressive, presuppose, and evoke meaning. First pair is the word jantan and laki-laki. Belongs to presuppose meaning, especially selectional restriction. Both words refer to male, but they are used in different contexts. Jantan is usually used for animals, but laki-laki is used for humans. The second pair is berbicara and ngomong, belongs to evoke meaning, especially register, tenor of discourse. Both words mean to speak, but berbicara is more formal and ngomong is informal. Next pair is the word saya and ane, belongs to evoke meaning, but here it shows a dialect and geographical. Saya is standard and formal word for I, while ane is used for Betawi people. The difference reflects the speaker's background or social group. The next pair we have kopi and teh, belongs to propositional meaning. These words have different real meaning because they refer different drinks. Kopi is coffee and teh is tea. Lastly, we have the pair menarik and mempesona, belongs to expressive meaning. Both words describe something attractive, but mempesona has a stronger and more positive feeling than menarik. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for the attention, and I apologize for any mistakes I may have made. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.